Everyone has skeletons in their closet, things that random people not find out about. But most people's secrets were, in my eyes, trifling matters. Rarely anything more than, oh no, I'm too ashamed to tell anyone. And never anything that would utterly ruin them, were it to get out. From a young age, I was conscious of a violent impulse to prowl deep within, but I had no concept of what it truly was yet. It was until shortly after I entered elementary school that I found a clear understanding of these feelings. I was watching the news one day when, in the middle of a report, the reporter and staff were murdered on live television. The killer seemed to want to be seen, because he deliberately positioned himself such that his face would be visible on camera as he stabbed the reporter again and again. Screams and shouts filled the air. Someone shouted, "Stop the camera!" and the screen went black. It only lasted a matter of seconds, perhaps 10 at most. But still those images remained fresh in my mind, playing back in an endless loop. Everyone around me acted as though it was some terrible thing, never to be spoken of. Perhaps that was the most reasonable response. But it was utterly inexplicable to me at the time. And that was when I first realized that the feelings I had were not feelings others shared with me. I was enamored with that footage, the sounds of people screaming, the sight of them writhing in pain, the hope draining from their eyes. It brought me indescribable joy, ecstasy. So it made no sense to me why to inspire fear in others. Why they refused to speak of it. I could imagine not wanting to talk about something so electrifying. I was the only one who felt that way. He yearned for the sight of more death. Fortunately, or perhaps unfortunately, I've been gifted with a talent for deception. I knew how society expected me to act, and I played the part to a T, although I nursed a thirst for blood within. I put on a friendly smile while interacting with people, but beneath it, I was always wondering, what face would they make as they died? What kind of scream would they regale me with? How would they beg me for their life? I was struck with an urge to shove the person next to me in front of an oncoming train whenever I waited on a platform. I fantasized about violent accidents happening whenever I stood at a crosswalk. Whenever I saw a blade, I wanted to eviscerate passersby with it. Whenever I saw a woman with a slender neck, I yearned to strangle the life out of her. As I got older, the urges only grew more powerful, making even day-to-day life a challenge. Fantasy stopped before being enough to quench my thirst. If I wasn't careful, I might find myself with my hands actually around someone's neck. I needed more than this. I wanted to experience it for myself. I wanted to spill blood with my own hands. I wanted to feel the life fade from someone's body. I wanted to kill. When my hunger reached its peak, I wondered why I had thought it necessary to restrain myself at all. Was it because I was afraid of getting caught? Because I didn't want to face society's judging eyes? Because I didn't want to cause trouble for my family? None of that was sufficient to hold my thirst at bay. I even began to entertain the thought of letting myself get caught. Going on a killing spree, tasting blood to my heart's content, then sentenced to death and freed from temptation at the apex of my life. It seemed like a sound-up plan. The question was, why had I hesitated to go through with it for so long? Well, no more hesitating. No more waiting. I was going to kill. It didn't matter who, anyone's blood would suffice, so long as it would quench this unending thirst. But when I stepped out into public, having at last embraced my murderous desires, I heard a voice whisper into my ear. Remember the vow you made. Vow? I did? To who and when? Where? What on earth was the voice talking about? Other nonsense, I told myself, and tried to banish it from my mind, but no matter what I did, it kept coming back. It was right as I readied myself to follow through my urges. At that, The sound of the voice paralyzed me, kept my feet bolted into the ground, and worst of all, it seemed to be my own voice.
And actually, as strange as it sounds, I kind of want to believe it's true too. I don't want it to turn out just to be some cheesy pickup line. I mean, how romantic would that be? That we have some sort of deeper connection from before we know. It could be fate that brought us together again. You never know.
Pauline, this secret I'm keeping from you is a great and terrible one. This barely suppressed hunger will eventually break through to the surface. I have no right to be at your side, to be blessed by your beautiful smile.
What I want most is to spend a nice, quiet life with you. I don't need anything extravagant. Just an ordinary life, slowly growing older, having 3, maybe 4 children. We'd never fight, and eventually, before I knew it, I'd be an old lady. Thinking, it was an uneventful life, but it was the best I could have asked for. That's the life I
know in my mind what the best thing I can do for you is, but so many of my actions are not driven by reason. The sight of her smiling face calms the creature within. Her presence suppresses my savage desires, allowing me to act like a normal man. She's my tether, the chain that keeps me fixed to the ground, and she's the only one who can do that for me. But even she can't wholly quell the bloodlust that seethes within. And so now, 2 separate cravings dwell together in my heart. One is a yearning to surrender myself to my desires, to spread pain and death and horrible suffering. The other is a longing to relinquish myself to the peaceful life she so desires, to share a quiet and uneventful life with her. Each one pulls at me in completely opposite directions. They're so fundamentally different, and utterly incompatible.
I mean, it's been 2 months since we started dating, but we still haven't stayed the night together. So, do you not want me to stay the night, Yukimasa?
Finding her brought me relief, taught me what it was like to live without temptation, but now I find myself dreaming of killing her. My desire is transformed from I want to kill someone, anyone, to I want to murder her specifically. And this is after swearing I would never lay a hand on her. The sight of Pauline sleeping, helpless to protect herself, unfailingly brings with it a hunger to squeeze the life out of her. And that's why I cannot allow myself to spend a night with her. Because when I step past that final line of defense, I will cease to be a man. It's time.
You got the Adidas tracksuit on?
You know it. Every city has an underbelly, no matter how clean it appears on its surface. You can try to put up appearances until the end of time, but hiding your seedy population doesn't get rid of them. And that was the very first thing I looked into when I moved here. But not because I want to feel safe in my new home. The exact opposite. Being the capital of France and a large populous city, the streets of Paris were naturally kept impeccably clean. It was safe enough to walk alone at night, and you were unlikely to encounter any trouble, so long as you exercised the bare minimum of caution. So I needed information about the city, enough to guess where crimes were likely to take place, enough to get there before the police could. I'm being followed. From the footsteps sounds like 2 men. This is probably good enough. I came to a stop a comfortable distance down a poorly lit alley. Turning back, the 2 young men stood blocking my path. They seemed to be in their late teens, still children as far as I was concerned, but hardly in a way boys that age shouldn't be. They were both fairly tall, around my height, kept their hands hidden in their jackets. Presumably, they were hiding weapons of some sort, and their mouths were contorted unnaturally into half-slack smiles. Even in the poor light, I could make out numerous teeth that were cracked or black with rot. Well, I'm impressed you haven't been swept out by the police yet. With mouths like that, you filthy addicts. Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, look. Slanty Eyes is trying to talk to us. How about you learn the fucking language first?
Son of Ruffian Greg.
Right back at you, bitch. I'm surprised you still got your head on your shoulders, walking around all alone this time of night. Picked the wrong place to go for a midnight stroll. Or what? Get your dumbass lost?
We'd be happy to show you the way back. Just $1,000 an hour.
Why, thank you for such a generous offer. Is that all you had to say?
What? We need to spell everything out for you? Over your goddamn money, you dumb fuck.
Just fork her over and no one has to get hurt. We ain't monsters.
The boys, coughing like buffoons, pulled their hands from their jacket pockets. As I suspected, they were armed. The blades had visible bulk to them. Double-edged knives. I was surprised they had anything remotely decent on them. They were the kind of knives you could buy at a corner store, when they gotten them at a hunting shop or from a friend. Parts of me wished they had been guns instead. That would have made this more exciting. But I knew that I was asking too much of the city, or to go to somewhere more dangerous for that. Which wasn't to say that the glimmer of their knives didn't excite me plenty. A hot shiver ran up my spine. Ecstasy. A deep gratification surged up within me. I could just imagine how incredible it would feel to tear through someone's flesh with those knives.
Why don't you say something, huh? You fucking blind or what? If you don't want to hand it over, then we'll just kill you and take it ourselves.
You think you can only kill me with only a knife? I would love to see you try.
The fuck you laughing at, asshole?
Hey, maybe we should back off. Something ain't right about him.
Like hell, you chicken shit. I ain't letting them get away with talking that kind of shit. Fuck no!
Well, what are you waiting for? I'm standing right here. Go on. Kill me. Or did you think I would bend over and hand you my wallet simply because you started waving a knife around? You make a mockery of me. You're not prepared to use the knife to take another man's life. Then I suggest you put it back in the kitchen. And perhaps a bit excessive for everyday use, but at least it can be a fruit with it. A fine idea, wouldn't you say?
I had enough of your bullshit, Slanty. You're fucking dead!
The hoodlum made a dash for me, and a beat later his companion followed suit. I didn't waste a second either, with my eyes fixed on them. I took a step backwards, lifted my leg, made as if I were to kick them. But instead, I threw my foot into a pile of garbage, launching it into the air. Shards of a glass bottle flew towards the first one's face. On his own, it was an effectual attack. He could shield himself, and anything that hit was unlikely to cause significant harm. But the split-second distraction I created was what I wanted. I closed the distance between us and pivoted around to his side. With one hand, I grabbed him by his outstretched arm, the other his collar, and then I swept his feet from out under him. As tall as he was, his drug-atrophied frame put up little resistance, doing a clean 180 in the air before face-planting the asphalt. A look of horror spread across the other man's face as he continued his charge. He had lost a great deal of momentum, however, and the arm holding the knife had gone slightly slack. So rather than retreat, I stepped towards him. Then I bent myself backwards to avoid the blade at the last second. He screeched to a halt. The minute he was going to turn around, but before he could, I planted my elbow in the nape of his neck. The man let out a pathetic yelp, like a frog being run over by a car, then crumpled to the ground. As soon as he hit the ground, I slammed my foot into his wrist, sending the knife spinning off into the darkness. And then I did the same to his partner.
Fuck! The hell are you, man? Okay, you win. We'll leave you alone. So let us...
Absolutely pathetic. That fight was so dull I'm about to fall asleep here. Was that honestly the best you could manage? The man trying to get up, so I stopped on his back. Apparently he was more than just physically slow. You'll leave me alone? You misunderstand, my boy. Yes, you're the ones who attacked me, but I'm the ones who baited you into it. Why on earth would I let you off with just a few bruises? Oh, no. You're my prey.
The hell's this guy's deal? I knew something was wrong with... Ah!
The other man made an attempt to escape, so I planted my foot into his face. But as Cena put too much force into it, he crashed into the wall and then slid limply to the ground. Hey now, you can't make any sudden moves or my instinct would kick in. I knocked him unconscious. What a shame. The man's nose was shattered, his face covered with blood, and his eyes rolled back. Gravity was the only force left acting on his body. For a second I was afraid I had killed him, but I could see his chest rising and falling, his fingers twitching slightly. It was fine then. I had no intention of killing either of them, after all. All I wanted was to see a little blood. From people nobody would mind seeing a little beaten up. Your friend's down, so that leaves you to entertain me. I grabbed the man by the back of the head, paying no heed to his squirming.
Fucking fuck!
I slammed his face into the asphalt. Thick blood dribbled from his nose. There wasn't much yet, so it was part of my imagination. But I felt as though I was enveloped in a sweet, coppery aroma. Endorphins flooded my brain, drowning out my reason. But a small fragment of that reason, that humanity, managed to stay above the surface to admonish me. Do not kill him, do not break your vow. Do not become a murderer. You chose the path of imperfection and conflict, of humanity. Yeah, you don't have to remind me. I'm not gonna kill anyone. I just need to not cross that line, right? Taking care not to knock him out entirely, and pounded the man's face into the asphalt again and again and again. Listen, I don't want to get into a crazy street fight over who's the strongest guy around. I don't want to experience the thrill of participating in a fight club.
Please, Let me go.
All I want is to endlessly brutalize helpless insects like you. Again.
You're going to kill me.
You are too much a waste of human flesh for anyone to care, even you come crawling to them battered and bloody. Screams echoed through the dimly lit alleyway. Of course, the biggest waste of oxygen here is me.
Help! Someone help me!
Help? You're the idiot who chooses to jump me this far out of the way. No one's around to hear you scream. Glancing down, I noticed my hand was dripping with blood. Had probably splattered onto my jacket as well. I'm going to want to wipe myself down before I go home, I thought as I continued to pummel the man. The scent of blood calmed my raging spirit. The sound of screams and the taste of despair filled my ravenous soul. When the shouts and cries began to falter, I let go of the man's head. Bloody foam oozing from his mouth, his whole body twitched on the ground. I rose to my feet, kicking the man over so I could see his face. Not that it was much of a face anymore. I pressed my heel into his chest, causing a splattering of blood to blow out of his mouth.
Help me. Please. Oh, don't kill me.
The once ferocious man was now begging like a small child to be spared. What? Surrendering already? How underwhelming. Haven't nearly had my fill yet. Oh, here's an idea. I wonder what I could do with those knives you pulled on me. How about cutting off your fingers one by one until there's none left? Doesn't that sound like so much fun?
Please, no more. I'm so sorry.
I have no interest in your apologies. In fact, I almost want to thank you for this evening's entertainment. The one thing I could really ask for is for you to not giving in so soon.
I can't. I can't. You're going to kill me.
That's terribly unfortunate. And so you know, I never actually killed anyone. I take great pains to avoid crossing that particular line. Honestly, I don't feel like going all the way would really change much after a beating so severe. And there's a voice inside me that won't let me do that. I used to think it was whatever tiny bit of conscience I had, but I come to realize that this isn't the case. Tell me, do you have an idea what it is?
I have no idea. Help! Don't kill me, please.
Of course you wouldn't know. You think I'm some kind of psychopath, don't you?
I don't. I promise. So please, have mercy.
You want mercy? Then beg me for it. Plead like a sad little animal you are.
Please have mercy. I'll do anything. I'll give you all the money I have. I'm so sorry. I'm begging you. Spare me.
As you wish. I'm done here. You should get yourself to the hospital before you die. And don't you tell anyone there about me. Well, I doubt to give it much stock beyond a scuffle between lowlights. I don't want to take unnecessary risk. The man gave me several rapid nods, then began to crawl away, whimpering. He seemed like he was trying to push himself to his feet, but not having any luck. But I didn't give a damn about what happened to him next. What I need to do was wipe the blood off me, get home and sleep, and watch to see if any dead bodies showed up on the news over the next few days. I didn't even give the beaten and battered pair a second glance. They were the dregs of humanity, and they were fair game. Of course, as I told the one man, I was the lowest scum of all. I pulverized men to quench my thirst, but I never killed them. I kept my vow. I wasn't so far gone as to think anything other than murder was okay, though. I knew perfectly well that what I was doing was reprehensible. And still, in spite of that, I yearned for something more.
Letting myself in? Wait, is Yukimasa out? Well, darn! That ruins my plans. Might as well poke around while I'm here. Maybe I'll find something new about him. Sorry for sneaking around like this, Yukimasa. Only a couple hours earlier, Yukimasa and I had been hanging out together here, talking and smiling and laughing and watching TV. But now, it was deathly quiet. I felt a chill in the air as I stood there, all by myself. When Yukimasa had a key made for me, he probably didn't think I would use it to sneak in when he wasn't around. He wouldn't have trusted me with it if he did. And up until today, I'd always gotten in touch before coming over. A surprise inspection like this was a first. Anyway, I need to figure out why he won't let me stay the night. Maybe he keeps all his naughty stuff by his bed, but doesn't want me to see it. There's something kind of exhilarating about secretly digging around your boyfriend's house. Now, contain yourself, Pauline. I let myself get a little overly worried on the way here because of that weird voice in my head. But really, I don't have any reason to be concerned. Here goes nothing. Ooh, I spy a DVD case. Do we have the classic case of dirty videos under the bed here? A gore horror B movie? Aw, I was hoping I'd find porn. Wait, why am I disappointed? I'm kind of surprised. Yukimasa never struck me as a gory movie guy. Maybe he secretly spends his evenings binge-watching splatter films. I can understand why he wouldn't want to tell me, but that's hardly enough to scare me off. Now, if he asked me to watch one with him, I'd probably have to close my eyes for most of it. But who knows? Maybe it could turn out to be fun. Where should I look next? Oh, how about his laptop? Laptop. Aha! Oh, it needs a password to boot up. What could it be? Maybe he used my name? Let's give it a shot. Of course not. We've only been dating for 2 months. He wouldn't use my name for a password this soon. Aww. There's still other things I can try. His birthday? Oh, no, that wasn't it. Alright, what about Nippon? No, why would it be that? I'm running out of ideas. Oh crap, it locked me out. Now he's gonna know I tried to get into it. This is bad. This is real bad. Is there any way to undo the lock? Footsteps. He's home and he's coming this way. Crap. I need to find somewhere to hide. Oh, the wardrobe. That looks big enough to fit me. Move your butt, Pauline.
My laptop's open. Did I leave it that way?
Shoot, he's gonna say I messed with it.
I suppose I must have.
I'm in the clear now. Wait, I didn't think this through at all. Hiding in here was a terrible idea, and now I have no way out. How airheaded can you be, Pauline? If you just said, "Oh, sorry, I left something here," he probably would have bought it without batting an eye. But you look like a total creeper if you just hop out of his wardrobe. On the bright side, it is kinda nice getting to see him in his natural habitat. I peeked through the wardrobe's door, trying my best to keep my heart from leaping out of my throat. When he was with me, he always had a pleasant smile, so there was something refreshing about seeing him stone-faced now. Obviously, it would be weird if he was always smiling to himself, but still, he looked almost like a different man when he was on his own. Finally taking my eyes off his face, I realized he was wearing a sweatsuit. Had he been out night jogging or something? He liked physical activity, so by itself, that wouldn't be unusual. But what did seem off was him saying he had business to attend to and sending me home if all he was doing was going for a jog. He also looked exhausted. Was jogging supposed to wear you out so much? It would probably take a lot out of me, since I never got much physical activity. But unlike me, Yukimasa was in shape. Regardless, physical activity meant sweat, and sweat meant he would go take a shower next, right? And then I could sneak out while he was in there.
I can't be bothered to take a shower tonight. I need to sleep.
You can't be bothered? And there he goes, right into bed. So much for that plan. Who went to bed drenched in sweat anyway? That had to reek. Slovenly was like the last thing I expected to find out he was. After a few minutes, I could see his chest moving slowly up and down. My good, strong, healthy Yukimasa was quick to fall asleep too. As much as I wanted to stay here and watch him through the night, now that he was asleep, I could safely leave. I pushed the wardrobe door open, slowly and carefully, trying not to make a noise. The lights were off too, so I needed to be especially watchful of where I stepped so I didn't trip over anything. Tiptoeing my way towards the door, I abruptly came to a stop. Maybe I could just climb in beside him. People called me an airhead all the time, but even I had enough sense to realize how outrageous an idea that was. Not only had I snuck into his house without permission, now I was thinking about sneaking into bed with him. It was like something out of a trashy romance novel. On the other hand, we were dating. Maybe he would think of it as a pleasant surprise? That was pushing my luck, wasn't it? He'd wake up in the morning and see me there, and it would probably give him a really big scare. It might even creep him out so much he'd break up with me. But still... the sight of him sleeping there, so innocent and vulnerable, was too much for me to resist. Who wouldn't want to run their fingers along that big back or put their arms around that perfectly slender waist? My conscience was screaming at me to behave and go home. But the primal part of me pulled me closer and closer to the bed. I carefully lifted one knee onto the bed, and the mattress let out a deafening creak. My heart leapt into my throat, but the sound didn't seem to have woken Yukimasa. I stretched my arm out towards him. With every passing moment, the pounding of my heart grew more and more intense. I worried the sound might wake him up. I brushed the tips of my fingers across his cheek, then through his dark hair. He showed no signs of waking. He was always the mature, older one, but it felt like we'd switched places now. The image brought a little smile to my face, quickly dissolving all the remaining tension in the air. It was safe to get a little closer, wasn't it? He wasn't going to wake up. My heart rate leapt back up as I lowered myself down onto his bed, cuddling up next to him. Oh my gosh, I was actually in the same bed with him. How brazen of you, Pauline. I could feel his breath on my lips as I gazed upon his face. I was on cloud 9, and I wanted to keep going even higher. Rationally, I knew I had to get out before he woke up. But I was well past rationality at that point. In my excitement, it took me a few extra moments to notice the strange smell on his sweats. Something sharp layered beneath the scent of his sweat. I couldn't quite place it, though. So my curiosity would have to remain unsatisfied for now. As I lay there, basking in bliss, my eyelids started to grow heavy. No, Pauline, you can't go to sleep. You have to go home. And now. But as hard as I tried to push myself out of bed, it was just too warm and cozy here, too.
In my dreams, I'm drenched in fresh red blood. People dying all around me. Everyone dying. No, not simply dying. I'm killing them. A man begs me to spare his life so it severs his head. A woman implores me that she's with child, so disembowel her. A man invokes the name of his god, so tell him I know such deity. And a pile of corpses grows. Arms and legs, heads and torsos, entrails and brains. It's all there. It's everywhere. In my shadow stands a maid with vacant eyes. I repeatedly try to kill her, but she won't die, so I keep her. Grinning, I ordered the maid to take a body and make a meal of it. She does as I demand, serving me a human meat soup. The maid always wears a smile, but her madness can never compare to mine. I cackle uncontrollably, howl like a wild beast.
Is that all, Master? Are you not going to dismember me? You could try stabbing my face, or my neck, or my stomach, or any other part of me.
Any part?
Perhaps then I might die. Oh, now, don't look at me like I'm some exotic creature.
A man who isn't a man. A woman who isn't herself. Imprisoned together in a dark, decrepit mansion. I believe the woman to be the witch, but the witch is elsewhere, looking down on me.
Remember that you have always, always been a beast, incapable of saving anyone. Only of taking. Remember and suffer. Agonize, writhe, anguish, grieve, suffer, suffer.
The witch is right. I've always been enamored with death, with killing. My hands are only capable of taking, not offering. I'm a monster. My lust for blood always overwhelmed my affection I managed to muster. That's the simple truth. Look at all the blood I spilt. Look at me cackling as I sit upon this mountain of bodies. Oh, Pauline. What are you doing there? You can't see me like this. Not when I'm a beast driven by nothing but primal instinct. Stay back or I might end up killing you too. Though, to tell you the truth, I've always wanted to kill you. With your chains, you bring tranquility to my world. You're the only one who can keep me tethered to the ground. I can only imagine how incredible release would be to tear them off. I need you to live for me. I long to kill you more than anyone else. But this is a dream. I have nothing to lose by indulging in my desires. It's not real, so no need for a tether. It's not real, so I can do whatever I please. This is the only place I don't have to hold myself back. Pauline, let me hear how you wail and let me see how you ride.
I can't breathe. Yuki must wake up.
I've been so miserable for so long. Rough enough lowlife never did anything for me. It only started off a little, the hunger for a little. The only thing that can truly satisfy me is the hope draining from the eyes of someone who had made a real difference in my own life.
What's gotten into you? You must get off me.
Pauline's neck was even slighter than I'd imagined. Leaning in slightly would likely be all it would take to snap it. I could feel her pulse on the palm of my head. I could feel every grasp and grunt as she forced out of my arms, my chest, my face.
Stop. You're going to kill me.
A wave of ecstasy surged up within me. Dream or not, I was strangling her. At long last, I was squeezing the life out of her.
I can't breathe. Yukimasa. Please, don't kill.
At long last?
Get off. Yukimasa. Why would you?
Something told me this wasn't the first time I had heard Pauline's dying gasps. Pauline, she believed in me. She put her faith in a beast and went out in search of him. I cannot allow myself to be the kind of monster who would murder a woman like her. I have to change. I will change the future. When life here comes to an end, I vow to make my next one better. A fragment of a memory, a vow exchanged long ago. The pieces were too vague to see who or where it was, or if it was even a memory of something that actually occurred. What did it matter? I would uphold a vow I knew nothing about in a dream. For years I held back, fought the urges, kept my word. It didn't even matter if it was the first or the third time I killed her. This was a dream, and I was going to do as I pleased. That was the whole reason I was having the dream in the first. This was a dream? This indescribably lifelike sensation was a dream? These incomparably vivid cries were a dream? No. No, they weren't. This isn't a dream. Pauline! The fog of my dreams rapidly receded, and my narrow vision filled out. Pauline was splayed out limply beneath me. For a brief moment I questioned what she was doing in my room, but quickly discarded the thought as unimportant. Did I actually kill Pauline? Pauline! Hey, Pauline! Stay with me. Is she breathing? I put a hand on her chest, my ear to her lips, but nothing. She wasn't breathing. No. How could I? I did everything in my power to stop myself from hurting you. Pauline. I shook about her shoulders. I slapped her cheeks, but nothing brought the light back to her eyes. I shouted her name. I shook her some more. I smacked her again. I repeated the cycle who knows how many times, but I got no more reaction out of her than a mannequin. Pauline, please, breathe for me. Pauline! I had other ideas, but desperately to do something, I started performing CPR. I had no idea if I was doing it correctly, or if it was even the right thing to do in this situation. For as many ways as I could devise to kill a man, I was clueless about how to save one. But I couldn't just sit around and do nothing. Hands that only ever brought pain were now trying to reverse it. Fingers that knew only the taste of blood now sought to imbue life. I was painfully aware of the irony. When these hands had squeezed the life out of her in the first place. I blew air in her dozens of times, but Pauline's body remained limp. Sweat dripped from my forehead onto her ghostly white cheeks. With each new attempt to resuscitate her, the bed beneath us creaked like a screeching banshee. Pauline. Pauline. I shouted her name. I pressed the heel of my hand into her breast. I blew into her mouth. I've been going in circles for who knew how long, but her eyes remained murky and gray. Her mouth hung faintly open, but no sound slipped through her lips. Neither her voice calling my name nor the wisp of her breath. This was the moment I so dearly longed for, yet all I felt was maddening despair. I destroyed her once again. I killed her, yet again. I failed to uphold my vow. Failed to protect the one person I needed most. The one person who should have lived. This was proof I would never change. That I would always be a savage, bloodthirsty beast. Not even beast was too good for me. I was no more than a lowly fiend. It didn't matter how many tries you gave me. I would always travel down the same path. I should have distanced myself from her before I'd reached this point, pushed her away. At least then she wouldn't be able to live in peace. As she wished. I should have never let her in. And when I reached the deepest depths of my thoughts, Pauline's throat spasmed. My eyes went wide, and next second, she took in a huge breath. A glimmer had begun to return to her eyes. Pauline.
What happened? Yukimasa. Oh, right. I remember now. Thank goodness. You're back to yourself. That's a relief.
Pauline, I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry for hurting you like that.
Yeah, it hurt. But hey, I'm alive. So it's water under the bridge.
How is anything okay? She had been mere moments from death, and that push her there. How could she be smiling at me like this when I just strangled her? Why did she not berate me? Where did the overwhelming, gentle warmth in her eyes came from? Pauline took a few minutes to catch her breath and collect herself, for she just sat and waited in silence. The only sound in the night was the rhythmic ticking of the second hand. She didn't make eye contact with me, and I obviously couldn't look her in the eyes, so time simply flowed like molasses between us. After what felt like forever, she thought it was strange. I'm all right now. I nodded, then turned to her and handed her my phone. Call the police. Turn me in. I'll confess to anything and everything. Her eyes went wide, but the confusion only lasted a few seconds. Her face quickly twisted into a grimace. She wasn't a child. She knew good and well what I had done, that I had attempted to murder her. We were as assailant and victim.
Before I do anything, I want you to talk to me. I want to know more about you, Yukimasa.
You want to talk? After I nearly killed you, had you lost your mind?
Yes, I want to talk. I want to understand why. If you attacked me because you hated me, that would be one thing. But that's not what it was about, is it? There's another, better reason.
There was no better reason. I could claim I simply panicked, but what I did went far beyond any reasonable definition of panic. Even though I did believe it was a dream in the moment, my desire to kill her was no less sincere for it. Nothing I could say could possibly justify or explain away my actions.
To be clear, I don't want assurances. I don't want you to sugarcoat anything to make it palatable for me. I just want to know the real, genuine you.
Her words cut off my train of thought. I was beginning to sound like she knew that the man I was around her were a mere facade. She looked me straight in the eyes. Her gaze was unflinching, determined. Are you serious? Do you really want to see what lies beneath the mask? Are you really prepared to cross that line?
It's alright. I'm ready for anything. So please, tell me.
Are you absolutely sure about this, Pauline? Are you sure you want to shatter the illusion of me being a respectable boyfriend? Well, alright then. If you're really sure, then okay, I'll bite the bullet. I'll tell you everything. Strip myself bare and show the hideous creature within. I sort of laid everything out for her, the nature and extent of my desires. That I've been deeply enamored with others' pain since I was a child. That anyone I interacted with, I was constantly imagining them dying. That I had not yet killed anyone, but had done everything short of it. I told her where I had been this evening, and that it was something I did regularly. And finally, I confessed to fantasizing about killing her too. She sat and listened quietly the entire time. Her only reaction was to occasionally grimace. My whole life, I reveled in causing others pain, but seeing her so emotionally devastated, I felt a pang of regret for the first time in my life.
I can fix him.
This is why you need to turn me in. For your own safety as well as others, you can't fix me. I'm barely able to stop myself from killing anyone now, but there's no saying when that dam might break. Even without that, they could easily hit me with a list of battery charges long enough to fill a book. It's more than enough to have me thrown behind bars. Allow me to apologize, Pauline, for all the pain I caused and for deceiving you into being with a man like me. You deserve to be with a man who deserves you, Pauline. Not one who twisted and broken like me. That's what I want most for you. You can't report me, then I'll turn myself in. So please, Pauline.
Out of the question. I won't turn you in, and I won't let you turn yourself in either.
But then
What made you willing to turn yourself in now, and not any of the countless opportunities you've had, that you almost killed me? Which just goes to show how important I really am to you.
Yes, yours, as I said. I'm able to forget about the monster I am when I'm with you. But
Go on. I'm listening. Don't worry. I want to know how you really feel.
What I feel for you is not what you feel for me. I don't love you. You're the chains that keep my desires trapped away. I want you, but for entirely selfish reasons. My attraction to you is completely, utterly self-serving.
Well, darn. So you really were always just going along with what I wanted, huh?
Her response was surprisingly cool-headed, considering I just explicitly told her I didn't love her. But the smile she wore appeared to be on the verge of tears. You have every right to cut me out of your life. I can't give you what you want, and you'll never be happy with me.
You know, my love for you is self-serving too, I think. These feelings, they make me happy, and I wouldn't still be here if they didn't. I don't love you for you. I love you for me. I mean, sure, it's kind of a bummer that you don't feel the same way. Like, wow, so it was all an act, huh? But it's sad, but it doesn't hurt that much. Like, I still mean a lot to you too, though. We may not feel the exact same way, but that's so much better than you feeling nothing.
What on earth are you talking about? I've just confessed to a litany of crimes. The only thing you should feel for me is repulsion. You need to get me out of your life. Now.
You think that's not exactly what I want to do? But I can't. I can't just control how I feel.
I let out a gasp at her sudden outburst. No, it probably wasn't sudden. She was just acting collected and could no longer keep it up. And how could I blame her? If anything, her reaction was still restrained for everything I've done.
I've been trying this entire time to make myself not like you, but it hasn't worked. Not one bit. I desperately want to cut you out, but I can't bring myself to. I know you've done terrible, horrible things, but I can't call the police on you, and I don't want anyone else to either. This isn't easy for me. It doesn't make sense to me either. I care too much to just throw you away at the drop of a hat, and I don't know why. We've only been together for 2 months. I'm even more confused than you.
Pauline, I'm sorry. Surely there was something more appropriate I could say to her. But I tried uninspired. I'm sorry was the best I could manage. She put her head in her hands and sobbed. And then after some time, she looked up, wrapped her arms around me, and squeezed.
I've been thinking that it seems like your mind is made a little differently than others.
You can say that.
So, it's like when I see a puppy and start fawning over it, or my eyes go sparkly at a pretty outfit. The pleasure I get from things like that is tied to hurting people in your mind.
I suppose that's right. Those describing it that way makes it sound like nothing more than differences in interests.
Sorry, but it makes sense to me that way. I can't imagine how difficult it must be for you. You have an uncontrollable desire for something our society has declared as wrong. It's not possible for you to both live in this world and have fulfillment. As long as you remain in this society, your only options are to live unfulfilled or become an outcast. It's miserable having to bury yourself like that. It's suffocating. It hurts not being able to hear your interests with anyone. You've had to deal with that for so long. I feel terrible for you.
Don't. I don't deserve your sympathy. I should feel bad for the countless people I hurt, not the one who hurt them.
You're right. That's what anyone else would do. You've done lots of terrible things, and your victims absolutely deserve sympathy. The whole world would revile you and feel bad for them if they knew. You've already got our entire society poised to turn against you. So you at least need one person who will acknowledge your pain, one person who will accept you for who you are. And I want that person to be me.
I used to think you were a sensible woman, but it seems I misjudged you. You too have a fair few screws loose.
I probably do, yeah. Hey, I want to propose something. A mad request from a mad woman.
Yeah?
I've decided I can't leave you. I won't abandon you, and I won't stop loving you. So if you have to kill someone, make me your first.
What? You can't be serious, Pauline.
I can, and I am. I don't want you to hurt anyone else. But if you do end up killing someone, I'd rather be dead than left behind to watch as you're dragged away from me. And then, once you've killed me, turn yourself in.
You're joking, right?
Do you think I would joke about that? Didn't you say I was the chains that kept you tethered to the ground?
Yeah, I did, but...
Well, I'm putting my money on them being sturdy chains, though I did almost lose that bet just tonight. Once the chains stop being effective, you'll lose control. So I want you to make me your first and last. Don't find a replacement for me.
God, you really mean it. You genuinely want to stay with me despite what I am.
I do. I can't control how I feel. And no matter what, I'll never be able to not love you. I think I may have my own set as well. Unbreakable chains of love. Even after hearing his confession, I chose not to condemn Yukimasa, which I suppose made me as guilty as him. But that was what I wanted, as crazy it may have seemed to anyone else. Sorry, was I muted?
Yes, you were.
Oh, shit. Not that I was entirely confident in my decision either. In opening up to each other, in coming to better know one another, a glimmer of hope had formed between us. But much longer would it be able to last? Would he be able to suppress his urges for another 10 years? 20? What about 30? The more I thought about it, the more uncertain I grew. But for the time being, I just wanted to treasure being able to be with him. That was the life I chose. Good morning, Yukimasa. Look, I borrowed your kitchen and made bacon and eggs. It's a little burnt, but it should taste fine.
Good morning, Pauline.
Why are you squinting at me like that?
I was just trying to figure out if last night was all a dream or not.
Nope, wasn't a dream. Which is why you really should hop in the shower now. You conked right out after we were done, so you still smell pretty, right?
I distinctly remember attacking those lowlifes last night. So it was all real then. It only been one night, though. How could she possibly have come to terms with it so quickly? How on earth is she able to act so cheery? Although I guess it's better than her being gloomy. Such a bizarre juxtaposition. The enormity of her cooking breakfast next to the fact that she knows I'm a monster. Oh, do I? Then I suppose I would take a shower first.
Oh yeah, one other thing.
Yes?
You can be yourself around me. You don't have to put on your usual facade.
If you're okay with that, then sure, I can. But just so you know, that means I won't smile anymore.
Oh, that's no big deal. I know the real Yukimasa now. I'll do just fine without the fake smile. I'm quite fond of the brisket, stone-faced you too. It's a charming look.
You say so. Thanks. I nearly killed her yesterday, yet here she is. A bright smile on her face. She may well be more defected than me.
Ugh, I'm bored out of my skull. It's lunchtime and still not a single customer. When I started, I was like, hell yeah, free money! But it turns out the cost is my sanity. Ah, good afternoon. Oh, for God's sake, every time.
Well, if you don't want us, we'll happily leave. But we came to see you.
No, by all means. Bathe me in the glorious light of your love. So, want the usual ham sandwich to go?
Yes, please. But we need a quick break before we go back out. So, coffee first. And can we have the window seat?
Anywhere you like, my friends. The window, the counter, doing a strip show on the table. Take your pick.
Do you always have to be so crass?
You want to see her strip too, don't you, dude? Just think about it. Your girl starts taking off her clothes in public. You can't get action like that in bed.
Maria!
Nudity doesn't interest me very much. She can keep her clothes on if she wants.
Seems like a weird thing to say as you know her boyfriend. Was that maybe a touchy subject?
No, I'm quite functional, thank you. Besides, we got touchy last night.
Oh, great to hear. Anywho, you seem kind of different. More tight-assed than usual? You're not, like, fighting, are you?
Of course not.
In fact, it would say we're closer now than we ever been before.
Really now?
We talked about it, and Yukimasa is going to be himself from now on. He still has to pretend to be a good boy at work, though.
Oh, I see. Wait. I mean, I did always get the feeling he was kind of fake, but... You're okay with this, Pauline?
What? Is there anything to not be okay about?
Well, if you don't have a problem with it, who am I to judge? I get the distinct feeling they strayed even far off the path since the last time I saw them. What the hell happened between those two? Not that it's my business. I should go make him their shit.
Pauline?
Oh my god, I was muted again. It's so nice out today. What do you want to do? We could go for a walk like last time, but what do you think about renting a movie?
I'm fine with that. What kind of movie do you have in mind?
A splatter film.
Do you honestly want to watch a splatter film?
Nope, not even the slightest.
I suppose we can have a Saw marathon.
Saw sucks.
Pauline?
I wonder how other people see us. From the outside, we just look like another happy couple, don't we? We can take a walk together on a beautiful summer day. We can go on a date together like any other loving couple. But wrapped around our interlaced fingers are a pair of invisible chains.
I'm not quite sure.
Is this Morgana?
I guess it is. Go for it.
I despise the irrational and the unscientific. Phenomena perceived as miraculous or unexplainable are, by and large, the products of chicanery, tricks that fail to stand up to even the slightest scrutiny. Only fools and children sincerely believe in tripe like fate and destiny. What does anyone find in such nonsense? Are they merely trying to convince themselves their lives have purpose? The epitome of folly. I firmly believe anyone who's fallen for that is destined to get nowhere in life. Which is why, however vivid they may be, I cannot abide these memories I have of events I've never experienced, of emotions I've never felt. Oh, my bad. I thought with the dialogue it might be
Yeah, I was gonna just say, like, I'm getting Jacopo vibes from it.
I'm standing in a wheat field I've never seen before, pleading with a girl I've never met. Will you say my name? And it's again and again, a desperate attempt to keep her from leaving me. It's a dream I've seen countless times now. When I waken from it, my chest is tight, and my short of breath. It is a bitter blend of longing and loss, a heart smitten with a realm unknown, feelings that do not easily lend themselves to words. But the most intense of them all is despair being separated from the girl. I can see her so clearly in the dream, yet the moment I return to reality, she's nothing more than indistinct fog. There are no words for how absurd this all is me yearning after a girl I see in my dreams, because I want to give myself a nice solid punch to the jaw in the hopes I wake up. It's probably a result of all the stress I'm under, but there is a rational explanation. One ritualized neither on fate nor miracles. I keep telling myself to forget all about it, to move on with my life. But from somewhere deep within my breast, my very core, I stop myself. You must never forget, cherish those feelings, for it's thanks to your time in that realm, that you are alive in this one now. That's a good question. Oh, for the love of God, don't start pouring like that, damn it! It's been one thing after another since I got here. I just got the suit back from the tailor too. God damn it all! As I recall, if I cut through this park, I would come out at the bus stop. To me, I thought taking a bus in the rain makes me want to gag, though. God damn it, should we just call it a cab? I had a string of bad luck that day. I had to stay later than usual to clean up a mess caused by a subordinate. As soon as I managed to get out, they started to start pouring on me. Lunch had been dreadful. I missed dinner entirely. As the annoyances continued to pile up, even small things that wouldn't usually bother me started adding to the agitation. And I reached a point where I wouldn't have minded if a meteor struck and eradicated humanity. So I came across her. I just considered yet another annoyance to add to this day's stack. As I was crossing through the park, I caught sight of a shadow in the corner of my eye. In that moment, the rain seemed to stop to a crawl. I felt strangely detached from my surroundings. I stopped dead in my tracks, though I couldn't conjure up a reason as to why. Normally, I would have spared the girl even a glance. There was no bigger waste of time than sticking your nose in someone else's business. But something was off about me today. Any reasonable man would have called a cab from the office instead of running through the rain in his brand new suit. I was hardly wanting for money after all. Yet for some reason, I decided to make a mad dash to a nearby park, knowing full well I was going to get drenched in the process. And now, there I was, standing in the rain, enraptured by this girl. She sat on a bench, no umbrella to shield her from the rain. Water streamed down her face, but she still sat unfazed, not even bothering to wipe it away. Her back was straight, her knees held together, very prim and proper, as though there was nothing out of the ordinary about it. For a split second, the sight of her nearly convinced me of the same. A moment's rational thought was all it took to break the illusion, but I'd come to this close to falling for it. It was like looking at a single frame of a movie, a completed work of art with no room for outside influence. What on earth was going through my head? It was just a damn girl singing in the rain, and probably a runaway at that. My else was still her age, be singing out in the rain all by herself. Whatever her story, sticking my nose into it is certain to end poorly. On early morning tomorrow too, the last thing I had time to do was play busybody. Hey kid. Hey, I'm talking to you. And for some godforsaken reason I was trying to get her attention.
Are you talking to me?
Her eyes were light, an almost translucent gold under the pale yellow streetlight. It looked like it could pierce right through me. And her voice was a curious thing. I didn't have the words to adequately describe it, but it sounded like it was resonating directly in my mind. The sound of it was undeniably beautiful, but there was something more there. Like each and every syllable coiled itself around my heart and tried to crush it. Have we met before? What the hell? That wasn't what I had planned to say at all. The words just fell out of my mouth.
Who are you? Do I need to call the police?
Look at that, she was already getting wary. What the hell had gotten into me? Been acting inexplicably peculiar. Just last month I ran into a tall woman who seemed strangely familiar. For whatever reason, I asked her if we had any shared acquaintances. Absurd thing to inquire of a stranger. I was clearly losing my mind, and I wouldn't want to associate with me. No, that won't be necessary. Please just ignore that if you would. What I actually want to know is, well, is what a young girl is doing at this time of night, all by herself. Foot traffic has almost entirely died down. It's not safe to be here alone. Hurry up and go home.
And who exactly do you think you are? What I do and where I go is my own business.
I hate to break it to you, little girl, but it's every adult's public duty to keep children out of danger. And you're definitely not 18 yet.
I'll have you know I'm in my 20s, thank you.
Well, certainly don't look it. Even setting aside the question of your age for a moment, you're gonna get yourself sick sitting out in the rain like that. I don't care you got into a fight with your parents and it's awkward being at home. You need to stop being so stubborn and go back. You're a public nuisance.
Is that so? Well, I'm not a nuisance to myself, so if you're so bothered, maybe you should go home. Have a nice day.
Hey now, watch your tone, girl. This is for your own good.
It's for my own good, huh? So your definition of being a concerned citizen involves butting into a stranger's business, reprimanding them unprovoked, and then finally calling them a nuisance. You're such a thoughtful, caring gentleman. Thank you oh so much for your gracious consideration. Happy?
You do not know when to shut up, do you, child? All I'm saying is that it's not a good idea for a girl your age to be out here.
Well, your concern is a nuisance to me. Leave me alone.
Fine, you win. What the hell ever. I was stupid to pretend I cared. Don't come whining to me if it turns out I was right. Kids these days, I swear to God, they don't know how to respect the damn elders. Christ, I should have never even bothered with her. Complete and utter waste of time. And now I'm probably gonna miss the bus too. The kiosk is still open. Maybe it sells umbrellas. Damn it, don't just stand there like an idiot, Jacobo. Forget about that stupid girl. Got an early morning to get going. Oh, for Christ's sake, what the hell's gotten to me?
You again? I thought you went home. Did you get bored and decide to come parent me again?
Are you only capable of speaking in binary remarks, girl? Of course I didn't get bored. I missed a goddamn bus because of you.
That doesn't explain why you came back. Are you going to demand I pay your bus fare?
I beg your pardon? Do I look so miserly I would make a child hand over pocket change?
You certainly do.
I swear to God, I'm gonna be here all night if I entertain every snide remark of yours. I'm done. Take this.
An umbrella? What for?
Because leaving you to here to soak all night would leave a bad taste in my mouth.
Why should whatever happened to me have any effect on you? And before you ask, no, I don't have the money to pay for that.
I never intended to ask you to pay me for it. It's just a cheap plastic umbrella, for God's sake.
And you only bought one? You didn't get one for yourself as well?
Don't worry about me. I live in the neighborhood.
But...
Quit your griping and take the damn umbrella.
Well, hey, don't shove it in my face.
There, it's yours now. Now get yourself home and quickly. You hear me?
What on earth is that man's problem?
The next morning was still raining. The sky covered in a thick layer of dark clouds. It wasn't even a rainy season. Why couldn't the sky just dump everything in one damn big downpour and let us be done with it? It continued throughout the day, showing no signs of letting up even as the sun went down. The slow, constant drizzles like my mood made manifest. In the 3 years since my work had brought me here, I've only gotten busier and busier. I haven't even had time to properly accustom myself to life in France, and this little crap being hurled at me wasn't helping. I managed to learn the language, but the cultural barriers still stood tall between me and the locals. At which point you might say, then just go home already. But I was too stubborn to go crawling back with nothing to show for my time here. At the very least, I want to get my company off the ground. Mostly sustainable first, and otherwise the whole endeavor would be a failure. Which is why I was staying at the office day in and day out. But the harder I worked myself, the lazier, more incompetent everyone else seemed, and the more irritated I grew with them. Drinking and smoking were essentially the only outlets I had for my constantly mounting stress. Certainly it's crowded today. Alright, it's the weekend. God, I can't even remember what day of the week it is anymore. There's no way I'd be able to relax with this many people here. I guess I'll just grab one drink and go, Oh, you haven't been in France very long then. Amusingly enough, I was only transferred here a month ago myself.
Oh, neat. Speaking of, a month ago is when I met Maria and I came to Paris on vacation, which is when I started thinking about moving here.
So wait, you're saying you decided on everything and moved to a foreign country in a span of a month?
Yep. Yes. My mom was not terribly pleased with me either. But once I set my mind on something, I usually make a beeline for it.
No need to be so tense. Please, make yourself comfortable.
If you say so, sure, I'll try. You know, when you first bumped into me, I was kind of scared. But it turns out you're not scary at all. You actually seem really sweet and respectable.
Sweet and respectable, you say? I'm flattered. I don't see myself as either. What the hell do those two Asians think they're doing there? Frying the corner's my seat, damn it. Not that I reserved it, but... I know this place is quite accommodating to foreigners, but I can't stand all the obnoxious tourists it attracts on top of that. That's sad, I feel like I've seen the man somewhere before. Maybe from the company we contracted out to? No, I remember him more clearly if that were the case. No idea, but it's not important anyway. It's an open seat at the counter. There we go. Hey, barkeep, one of the usual. On the rocks. Excuse me? The bottle's already empty? Then get me a new one, please. I don't remember drinking that much. Good lord. Are you sure they didn't leave the bottle open and all evaporated? I'm joking, yes. Be able to tell from the taste that you mishandled it that badly. The color is just right. The glass is beautiful. Nice, perfectly cut. Now, if only you weren't so loud here, it would be perfect. And now a drink to wind down from work.
That hits the spot. Nothing in this world beats an ice cold beer.
You there, I'm trying to enjoy my drink in peace, damn it. Keep it down, maybe try acting a little more ladylike, would you?
Excuse me? The hell's your problem? This is a bar. I can drink as loud as I damn well please. And miss me with that last century chauvinism while you're at it. Sit somewhere else if you're gonna be a little bitch about it.
I only sat next to you because it was the only seat open. I didn't choose this arrangement any more than you did.
There are plenty of other bars in town.
And this is the bar where my bottle keep.
God, you're such a baby. Maybe you need to learn how to act like a proper gentleman. When you see a woman alone at a counter, repeat after me. Good day to you, milady. Are you alone? Then please allow me to buy you a drink. No more beer for you. A glass of the most expensive whiskey they have. Give it a try. I'm still a beer girl myself, though.
I sooner choke on my own tongue. Does it look like I'm wearing a fucking fedora? You want someone to offer you a drink? Act like an actual damn lady.
Do you ever stop whining, dude? Holy crap. Wait, I feel like we've met somewhere before.
Trying to hit on me now? Sorry, but I have no interest in foul-mouthed, short-haired girls with attitudes. Try somewhere else.
Choke on a dick. Who the hell tried to hit on an asshole like you? No, I just feel like I remember being pissed off at you. Now I remember. You're the dick who bumped into me.
Can't say I remember every single person I brushed shoulders with.
Well, you were a huge ass to me and my friend. Apologize, right now.
Pardon? The fact that I don't remember clearly means it wasn't that big a deal. So I see no reason I should be forced to apologize.
It may not have been a big deal to you, but it sure was one to me. You put me in a bad mood for the rest of the day, which went and ruined a perfectly good vacation. And the crap just kept piling on after I got back. I ended up clocking my boss, getting fired, and being blacklisted from the fashion industry. So I decided, hey, I'll start over in a new place. And the one place I finally able to get work is about to shut down.
Most of that doesn't sound even remotely like my fault.
Screw you. Everything's your fault. I dropped all my luck when you slammed into me that day. Barky, fill me up again.
Huh. Good lord. Can't sit down and pour a glass from my bottle, would you?
Huh? After all that smack you talked, you're actually buying me a drink.
I'm not only a man to offer drinks to any random woman I sat next to, but you don't tend to wail endlessly on at me like a miserable banshee either. So you get a pity glass.
Did you just call me a miserable banshee? You sure know how to piss a girl off.
You also need a lesson in how to properly enjoy good whiskey. You don't just down it all like a beer, you hear me? You have to savor it. Take a sip, roll around the top of your tongue, let the aroma soak in, and then swallow. Give it a try.
Seriously? Now you're lecturing me on how to drink? Just let me enjoy it the way I want to, yeesh.
Quit griping to how I told you, damn it.
Aye aye, Captain. Oh, holy shit! This whiskey's a fucking bomb! I don't usually drink it because it tastes like sweaty asshole, but this stuff ain't half bad.
I told you.
So hey, is there only one glass worth of pity in ya?
You're one ravenous woman. Whatever, have as much as you want.
Booyah! You make me want to chew on glass, but you're not a terrible dude.
I changed my mind. I don't want to share another drop with you.
I'm just kidding. Learn to take a joke, man.
Yeah, is it already this late?
Late? The night's still young, dude. You got a wife and kids to get back to or something?
Hate to disappoint you, but I'm single. I'll be up early for work tomorrow.
Damn, you work on the weekends? Well, someone's a busy boy, huh? You don't look like the food service type either.
Be right about that. I work at a real estate agency that primarily targets wealthy expatriates, but everyone there is utterly useless, so I'm essentially managing the entire branch myself.
Ooh, I smell a lot of money in that. You're the kind of guy who lounges around counting big stacks of bills, aren't you? Riches before bitches, yeah? Because most guys, when you buy a girl a drink, the idea is to get them drunk enough to come home with you.
As I said, I have no zero interest in a woman as crass as you. Or are you insinuating you want to come to my place?
Hell no. I'd jump off a bridge before going home with you. I did have a pretty decent time drinking with you, though. It feels like we've known each other for years. Maybe since we're both Italian? I mean, that's probably not it, but I don't know what else it could be. It's weird, because when you first sat down, I wanted to break your jaw.
Huh, funny, I was thinking almost the same about you. You don't feel much like a woman, which makes it easier to talk to you.
Damn, you're a huge dick. I'm pretty smoking hot if I do say so myself. Whatever. Makes my life a whole lot easier if I don't have to worry about you trying to fill me up every 10 seconds. We should get drinks again sometime. Something tells me this ain't the last we'll be seeing of each other.
Well, still, we hope it is. If our paths cross a third time, I can only assume malicious forces don't work.
Yeah. You do your little snarky act. Get it out of your system. I'm pretty sure there'll be a third time for us. Oh, one other thing. The name's Maria. Now you don't have any excuse to call me a miserable banshee next time. So what's yours?
Jacobo.
Yeah, I definitely know that name from somewhere. Catch you later, Jacopo. Buonanotte. I don't know any Italian. I'm Canadian.
Well, I wasn't there longer than I planned, and the rain still hasn't let up either. Guess I'll take the same shortcut through the park. Is that... No. Couldn't believe my eyes. A young girl sitting alone on a bench in the rain, exactly as I seen her yesterday. For a second I wondered if I'd gone back in time, but I knew that wasn't possible, which meant she'd been there since yesterday. Hey, kid, you still here?
You again. You reek of alcohol. You drunk.
I am not drunk. We enjoyed a nice glass to wind down. But what I've been doing doesn't matter. The question is, what are you doing out here in the rain yet again? What happened to the umbrella I gave you?
It was stolen while I was away, briefly.
What? Oh wait, no, the umbrella isn't important either. Ugh, don't tell me you actually been here since yesterday. Is there some reason you can't go home? Then ask a friend you can stay at their place. At least find somewhere you can have a roof over your head. Or are you planning on being homeless permanently? Could try saying something, maybe.
My life is none of your business.
And as I said last time, that's not reason enough for me to just ignore you. Last time I assumed it was just a straightforward runaway case, but there's more to it than saw no more reason for someone else to get involved.
As I keep saying, leave me alone. It's none of your concern what happens to me.
Fine, I'll let the police deal with you.
Excuse me? Why should the police have to be involved? Have I broken any laws?
I can't abide by an unattended runaway, but you want me to leave you alone? Which leaves you with only one choice. Let the authorities take you in. Dealing with lawbreakers isn't the only duty of the police.
Then I'll find a different park where you won't see me.
Why are you so determined to stay in this damn park? Anyway, the point is, you can't be here, and going to another park doesn't change that. For the love of God, just go home, child. It's not safe for a girl to be sleeping out here all alone. How could you not realize that?
I am obviously aware of the dangers.
Then why?
Heavens, you're insufferable.
Oh, are you finally going home?
Absolutely not. I'm simply relocating somewhere without as many obnoxious drunkards around to pester me. Have a nice life. I will apologize for the umbrella, though.
The girl gave me a vicious scowl, then turned and began walking away. I gave her plenty of warnings, plenty of advice, undone my due diligence, and pushing it harder was a waste of both of our time. She could deal with the consequences of her own decisions, whether they end up being. It was my business. She was an ungrateful, petulant little brat. Had nothing but a migraine to gain by offering her any consideration. So I just wouldn't. That was best for my sanity. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. Came a mantra in my head. My hand appeared to have missed the memo, because when I looked up, it was clasped around her upper arm.
What are you?
She turned her head back towards me, frowning, clearly bewildered. I was probably about equally as confused. Could practically hear her chewing me out in her mind by the mixed messages I was sending. You don't have anywhere else to go. I figured she would have already smacked my hand away and threatened to call the police by now. But what I saw instead was a girl who looked cornered and out of options. My grip around her arm tightened. How was I going to finish that statement? None of the follow-ups I could think of seemed wise or sane at that. But the other option, letting her go and do nothing, was entirely out of question. You can stay in my place.
Oh, what? Stay at your place? You're joking, right?
Much to my own dismay, I'm evidently dead serious. Have food, a bed, and anything else you may need. It's better than sleeping outside in a park at least. Your choice is obviously yours. However, know that if you choose to stay somewhere without a roof over your head, I will call the police and report you as a runaway.
That sounds an awful lot like a threat.
I like to think I'm simply ensuring you get what's best for you.
Alternatively, I could start screaming. And then when I've drawn enough attention to you, I can slip away and head to a different jurisdiction where the police can't do anything.
By all means, I won't stop you.
Well, we've reached an understanding then.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'll go to your place. In the end, it doesn't matter where I go, after all. What? You look confused.
No, I'm just surprised you actually took me up on the offer.
Why should you be surprised when you're the one who proposed it? Now, let go of my arm, and then show me the way.
Right. Fine. The words came out sounding even limper than I had intended. I was quite relieved, though, despite how displeased she looked. The reasonable thing to do in this situation was obviously to not engage with her at all, just to silently report her to authorities. But God for perhaps the most unreasonable solution imaginable. I couldn't tell at a glance how old she was, but she certainly wasn't in her 20s like she claimed. I was an adult man inviting a minor to stay at my place. If anyone in this scenario was going to be spending quality time with police, it was me. I clearly lost my goddamn mind. Though, because even in the face of that, I had no intention of resigning my offer. You told me I would end up picking up a woman. Hell, not even a woman, but a girl at the park tonight, as opposed to the bar just left. I would have laughed in your face.